The game is Starcraft 2. The map is Entombed Valley. And in the bottom right-hand corner, as the blue Protoss, wielding a sword in one hand, a shield on the other, all while wearing a bib, it is FXO's Baby Knight. And in the top left-hand side, as a red Zerg who knows no boundaries, it is LiquidSnute. And we have all sorts of nice, good-mannered play, hearts going out all over the place in the chat. Just because you want to rip your opponent to shreds with everything you possibly can, doesn't mean that you can't be nice about it. So we have an Overlord slowly making his way along the edge of the map, and we have a pylon being warped in. Looks like BabyK isn't going immediately for some kind of fast expansion, which is just as well, because you know what Snute does to people who fast expand? Particularly people who forge fast expand and then try to block his natural with a pylon. He baneling busts them. He kills them. He makes them pay forever trying to mess with his expansion. So just as well. We have a pylon gateway now being warped in next to a pylon, because that just makes sense. Because if you warp that gateway anywhere outside of a pylon's range, that would make this game very, very weird. It would kind of make it hacks-worthy and everything. And we have our dedicated Proby making his way across the map. He is in fact going to head over to here. He has the waypoint set up to make sure that he misses the scout the first time around. But so will Snute. Snute's spawning pool is now halfway done. We have an assimilator going down for BabyK, as well as another pylon. Don't those Protoss buildings just look so incredible? I think they do. I think they're probably the best looking ever. Probes have now figured out that there is in fact nothing here, unless the base is invisible. So now he's going to check out Snute's other base, which now has a hatchery gone down and being produced in its slimy creepiness, as all Zerg structures are, and we have a cybernetics core nearly halfway for FXO's Baby Knight. I wonder if he wakes his opponents up at like midnight to play against him, and that's how he got that name. It would explain a lot. We have a zealot being produced. We have a pylon just running around this base like he owns the place, and we have a couple of lings which are going to chase him away and might even try to kill him. It's not a good time to be a Proby. It's never a good time to be a Proby. This poor little NCIS agent, what can he do against such hatred? And it looks like this Zergling's trying to get in front so that he can block off this probe and make him pay for all things. Or maybe he's just going to walk past and try and get inside the base. But we have a Stalker out now, which will protect this Proby at all costs, making sure that it survives. We have another base going down for Snute, with his natural just finished up, and a queen already there to make sure that everything is happy and injected with lava. Or larvae. And we have the Overlord slowly making his way along now. Another expansion going for FXO's Baby Knight, or rather just one expansion, because he actually doesn't have another expansion. If he had another expansion, that would be 3 bases, but instead he has only got 2. We have 10 Zerglings popping out for LiquidSnute. But seeing Zergling speed is not finished, they could be kited forever by the Stalker, who is in fact going to spot the 3rd base, but we do have quite a lot of lings. This could go for quite a nice attack over here. No cannons, no wall-off, nothing to defend against these units apart from a lonely Stalker, which has almost all of its shields taken down, and might even have some hull damage coming soon. I'm interested to see what he's going to do with these Zerglings, apart from blocking that Stalker. Oh, it's a horrible way to die. A Stalker walks into a bar and gets killed by Zerglings. It's not a very nice place to be. 3rd base just about to finish up for LiquidSnute. A whole bunch of Zerglings heading towards Baby Knight's base. A couple get blocked out. They're going to get focused down by the sentries and are going to retreat until that force field is out. May come back for a second time and get force field out again. But provided Baby Knight stays on top of those force fields, which I am sure he will, then no damage will happen from this. We've got a Forge coming down. His Nexus is now done. We have Warp Gate done. We have a Gateway. We have all sorts of lovely stuff. We even have Hallucination on the way, as well as 2 Gateways just about to finish up. We now have an Extractor going down for LiquidSnute, as well as a Roach Warren. So he'll be mixing in some roaches with all these lings. Couple of sentries just tickling the rocks, making them giggle to death until they fall apart at the seams. And these rocks are getting picked on much more viciously by a pack of lings and I say two queens! This is like chess. This guy's got 2 of everything. With the exception of lings, in which case he has a bazillion of those. Lots of drones popping out all over the place. Roach Warren nearly done. Zergling speed on the way. And ground weapons on the way for Baby Knight. We have the Zealot hacking away at those rocks, showing the sentries how it's done. This is how you do damage, you see? This is how you do damage. And the sentries aren't paying any attention. Because they say, I'm just here because I look stylish. And I have energy. Do you have energy, bro? I didn't think so. So, yeah, they're quite proud of themselves. A couple of lings making their way across the map. One going to try and secure that watchtower. And we have a hallucinated phoenix out as well. For a nice quick scout. Ooh. We have an evolution chamber on the way as well. As a Twilight Council. What is this? A Twilight Council on the way for Baby Knight. Will he go for Blink? Will he go for Charge? No one could ever know until he starts researching it. Looks like we have another base on the way for Baby Knight who wants to take his 3rd, while Snute is taking his 4th, and we have all sorts of Zerglings at the front. But the Zealot, this incredible Zealot, is holding his ground and has only taken 8 hull damage. Looks like Snute may be going for some kind of push. Those roaches can focus down that poor Zealot. A couple of force fields blocking in those roaches. A couple of Zerglings get in as well. They may focus down one of these pylons, which will mess up the wall. Another pylon might go down as well. Which is actually going to supply BabyK, so he can't actually make any units unless he loses some, which he doesn't, because he's Baby Knight. Why would he lose units? He's Baby Knight. You don't lose units if you're Baby Knight or Korean. That's just the way it works. We have another wall-off happening at his 3rd base, making sure those Zerglings can't just run by, get in, and make themselves happy and at home. We have a drone making his way over here, going to turn himself into a hatchery. And we have Lair just finished up. We have an observer on the way, a couple of cannons. But in terms of the supply, FXO is just ahead in army, but in worker, of course, he is Zerg and is ahead. How many drones is that? That's quite a few drones. That's a lot of drones. Let's have a look. 94 drones now, 61 probes. What is Baby Knight's ultimate plan? What is he up to? What is he thinking? Could be some kind of intense Immortal Sentry push. We've got Blink on the way. Immortal Sentry push with Blink Stalkers. That sounds fun and interesting. Maybe even Zealot Legs, just to add in on the fun, because they want to get to the party too. A couple of lings are going to pick on these rocks, just bash their heads against them until their brains splatter out all over the place, or until the rocks break. One of the two. Either way works. A couple of spine crawlers going down for LiquidSnute, seeing as BabyK is in fact the Protoss player, and if he found a way to make spine crawlers, I would not really be that surprised. A couple of hallucinations making their way across the map, seeing everything that's going on. Constantly we have an observer over here. We have an overlord just chilling with a Zergling. They're just hanging out by the Zelnugga Tower, you know, talking about all the local gossip, you know, which Zergling is going out with which Zergling, all sorts of, all that kind of stuff, normal office politics, all that kind of stuff, all good stuff. BabyK being very careful to make sure there are no hidden bases around the place. And he sees everything. He always sees everything. We have a Stargate on the way, a couple more gateways. We have a Colossus. We have a Templar Archives. We have extended Thermal Lance. We have 11 Infestors on the way as well. There's another hatchery somewhere. Macro hatch. There we go. There it is. Got a hallucinated... Oh, that's a changeling. Wow. Kind of looks like a hallucination, because he's a different color, for me, at least. I was wondering how he managed to get in there. You know, how did he get past security? But he is in fact on the side of the Zerg player. He just looks like he's Protoss, but he is in fact not. He works for the highest bidder, and right now that is the Zerg, because the Zerg will kill you if you don't help them. And they might kill you even if you do, because it's the Zerg. They kill everybody. We might have Storm on the way soon. We have a Baneling Nest on the way, as well as a Spire and tons of Infestors. So many Infestors, gathering all that juicy energy, so that when BabyK tries to make a push across the map, he can fungal and Terran. Just tearing everything apart. BabyK loves his hallucinations, that's for sure. We have a fleet beacon just about to finish up for BabyK. So we might have a mothership, we might have carriers. We might have some sort of carrier Colossus mixture. Wouldn't that be intense? But I think it's going to be a mothership for an Archon toilet, but with so many infestors. Do they have Neural Parasite? They do not yet have Neural Parasite. There is no defense against the mothership just yet. Looks like LiquidSnute might be going for some kind of push. He's making his way towards the center of the map. He's killing off a lonely Zealot. That poor Zealot, he just woke up in the morning and then he gets ambushed by a zillion Zerglings and a ton of roaches. We have a fourth base coming up from BabyK, and it looks like Snute is going to be splitting up his army and going in for a big push, and he might just be able to catch BabyK out of position. BabyK does not have a mothership yet. Chargelings or Chargelets is just about to finish up. We have a Warp Prism on the way, and we have a couple of infested Terrans just coming out now. Will he swing round now with this other side? Yes, he will. BabyK is going to get attacked on both sides, and these Colossi are going to be in danger from Zerglings. One Colossus will go down. Will a second one go down? A second one looks like he will be going down. In fact, however, a lot of Infestors are going hacked to pieces by a ton of Zealots, as well as Roaches meeting their end. It's pretty much just Infested Terrans left for LiquidSnute. However, he's taken out one Colossus. This other Colossus has managed to stay alive the entire time. Let's have a look at how many kills these guys have. We have 13 kills. He's just an instructor. What about his friends? Nah, his friends got 23. He is an executor. And it looks like we're going to have a couple of Archons, or maybe he will research Storm. Great Aspire is on the way, as well as Neural Parasite just about to finish up. So it looks like it might not be the best time to have a mothership, because he will just Neural Parasite that, and then Vortex the Protoss' own army. And that would be terrible and horrible in so many ways. We have a Warp Prism loaded up with all of those Zealots. Looks like he's going to go for an attack over here, perhaps. Try and kill him some drones, kill off a Queen, maybe. We have a huge Warp in as this push. Oh, that drone just walks into the middle of it, as one Zealot just pops out to finish off that lonely drone. Whole bunch of Zealots making their way across the map. Will BabyKnight push out with another Warp Prism? It looks like he's going with another Warp Prism on the other side. This was just a nice distraction so that he could sneak that Warp Prism by. Perhaps into the main. He might be able to focus down the Great Aspire, wherever that is. Where is the Great Aspire? It's hiding from me. Ah, there it is. It's over here, and it's about to get surrounded by a wall of spine crawlers because Snute says, "Ah, I think I know what you're up to. You want to focus down my Great Aspire, and that's not going to happen." Because it's going to be surrounded by walls of powerful spine crawlers. Mothership just about to finish up. We have a Dark Shrine on the way. He might just mix it in with his army. He might use it to make Archons, but those Dark Templar can do so much damage. A couple of Zealots being warped in. As always, we have the we have a hallucinated Warp Prism, which is actually going to take off some of the energy from these Infestors, and another hallucinated Warp Prism, which is just about dead to a Queen. It's terrible to be Snute. You don't know what's real and you don't know what is. We have a whole bunch of Zealots making their way into the main. However, this Great Aspire is blocked by so many spine crawlers. Can't quite take it out. We have a bit of a push out from BabyKnight now in the middle of the map. A couple of Archons. Couple of Colossi, lots of Zealots. BabyKnight's actually quite spread out at the moment. We have a couple of Brood Wards, 5 Brood Lords on the way now, and another Spire just about to finish up, as well as a couple of upgrades. How many upgrades does BabyKnight have? He has 3 attack, and no armor. But seeing as our Zerg player doesn't actually have any attack, he only has armor. For now. For now. He's about to have Zerg melee attacks level 3 though. So I guess I was wrong. Never mind. Forget about me. What am I even talking about? I don't even know. We have a couple of warp prisms just all over the place, warping in everywhere. So many zealots just hacking drones to pieces. We have a mothership making everything invisible, because when things are invisible they look much cooler. Even though you can't see them, they do look cooler. Look at that, they're all sort of shiny and see-through-ish. Five gateways now on the way for Baby Knight, just about to finish up. We have a couple of corruptors, we have lots of broodlords. Where are all these broodlords? Look at them! They're having a broodlord party, chatting about all the water cooler business. Got a couple of corruptors just hanging with them. We have a hatchery now, a couple of hatcheries now on the way for Snute. He's got them some roach escorts. Ooh, but we have Dark Templar. Dark Templar drop could hack all these roaches to pieces and they wouldn't even know it. Looks like both players are maxed at supply. We could have a final confrontation any minute, and my nose is so itchy. It must be some kind of sign that we will have a... Oh no, that poor Dark Templar walking into so many spine crawlers, and they can see him, and he is just so very dead. This lone Dark Templar over here slowly killing this hatchery. Will LiquidSnute cancel, or will he just let it die? Oh, but the Dark Templar is getting fungled and killed just before he can kill off that hatchery. Oh, it's so close, that poor Dark Templar. A couple more Dark Templar being warped in somewhere. A bunch of probes transferring to the Nexus over here, which has been warped in with a whole bunch of other buildings, such as photon cannons. Spine crawlers are all moving out. 4 Dark Templar on the way. They may focus down some of these infestors, or they might just try and together one-shot this hatchery, and it looks like they will before the infestors realize, boom! That hatchery goes down, but so do all those poor Dark Templar. And the other hatchery over here for LiquidSnute is doing just okay. It's at full health. It is quite happy with itself. More zealots just running forward. A couple of sentries just killing themselves, apparently. Lots of hallucinations making their way out across the map. It looks like BabyK might be trying to free up supply. He doesn't really care about sentries anymore, because sentries cannot force field against broodlords all that well. We have a mothership out, but he needs to be really careful with that. One neural, and it could all go very, very wrong. So wrong. So horribly, horribly wrong. We have a warp prism making its way up over here. It might focus down this hatchery once again, while BabyK will focus down these rocks. At least for a little while. Apparently he's given up on that. Those rocks were just annoying him, so he thought he'd beat them up a little bit, but they've learned their lesson, and he's happy with that. Gonna push the creep spread back a little bit. We have a mothership just hanging around with a warp prism. There we go. Now the rocks are dead. He came back to finish the job. They're now very, very dead. We have spine crawlers everywhere. The wall of death and carnage is just all over the map. Look at them. They're everywhere. They get around, don't they? Look at them. Just wall over here. Just another... I'm not even sure this is a wall. This is beyond a wall. This is like a city. Just a city of spine crawlers sitting out there trying to kill any Protoss that come wandering by. And it looks like LiquidSnute is just sacrificing these roaches. He wants to free up supply for more broodlords, which he already has a ton of. Look at all of those broodlords. How many broodlords does he in fact have? Ooh, that's the wrong button. That's the right button. We have 12 broodlords, 19 infestors, and 87 lava, all accumulated. So as soon as all this gets taken out, he can remax. We have a couple of colossi. We have lots of archons running back for some reason. Looks like he's pulling back. He only wanted to focus down a couple of spine crawlers, make a couple of them bleed. You might be looking for another angle, but the trouble is there are spine crawlers everywhere. There is no safe haven. Oh, there's just so many infestors. One of them gets taken out. A couple of broodlords are now taking out a whole bunch of stalkers, because that's what broodlords do best. They just one-shot everything when you've got hundreds of them. Look at them. It's just so many. They got all those infestor friends, that broodlord infestor composition, the one that the Zergs just love so much. And we have another Nexus going down for BabyK in case any attack doesn't pan out. Snute is in a very comfortable position. Look at these spine crawlers. BabyK can't actually attack from any angle. The whole map is pretty much just covered in base defenses. The entire place, just so many base defenses. And these Dark Templar will probably kill this hatchery once again. Might be a distraction. Looks like he's going to push over here. He might try and clear out the spine crawler wall while the entire army is going over here to deal with a lonely 2 Dark Templar, and Broodlords are so slow they're already halfway across the map. A couple of them are going to meet the Stalker Archon Colossus force. The rest are all going to go and kill some Dark Templar. A whole bunch of Stalkers are losing their lives. A couple of Broodlords are going down. It looks like BabyK is going to pull back once more. He's just picking away at that Spinecrawler wall, slowly breaking it down, brick by brick, or I guess it wouldn't really be brick by brick, sort of bit of tissue by bit of tissue, because that's what the Zerg do. They don't use bricks. They use organic material. Everything's very eco-friendly with the Zerg. Oop. I always press shift instead of control. Where is that? Army supply. BabyKnight is actually ahead in terms of worker supply. We've got LiquidSnute just slightly ahead, but he's losing some workers because they're getting killed by the massive drop over here. Taking out one hatchery, which I think was the hive. BabyKnight's going for another push at the Spinecrawler wall. A whole bunch of infestors are getting roasted away. A couple of neurals on the Archons, which are about to die anyway. Focusing down their friends. How could you turn against your friend? A couple of Dark Templar just killing off a few Broodlings as well. But that Greater Spire still stands. And BabyKnight is going to retreat once more. This Archon is still very much under the possession of that infestor. And then killed. See, I told you the Zerg kills its own friends. He was working for you and you just killed him. It's not very nice. This drop is still going on. This Warp Prism has been very, 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 very busy. But all these poor Dark Templar are now getting fungled and killed before they can single target down this macro hatch. They would just love to kill this Greater Spire, but look at those Spine Crawlers. Anything that walks within like a couple of feet of there will be so very, very dead before they can even touch that spire. With the exception of some Void Rays, I suppose. But he's also got some Spore Crawlers mixed in, just like 4, which could be quite helpful. Looks like BabyKnight might go for a push over here, picking away at this Spinecrawler wall of death. And of course LiquidSnute is very much out of position, and that's the trouble. The only problem with Broodlord and Infestor, it's just so slow! He's creeping his way along the map. But look at the Spinecrawler wall. It doesn't matter that he's so slow, because there's nowhere that BabyKnight can attack that he is not ready for. With the exception of all this Warp Prism play everywhere, just hacking things to pieces. This poor hatchery has not been safe, ever. It's died so many times at this base over here. He may as well just have like 20 drones just chilling here waiting to replace this hatchery, because they should know that it will die again and again. And more spine crawlers, is that really necessary? We have 8 more spine crawlers just finishing up. We have an infestation pit over here just chilling with his spine crawler friends. And we have another push out of BabyK. But this time, LiquidSnute is actually in position, and he's going to be focusing down a lot of those stalkers. Oh, so many are getting ripped through by those powerful broodlings. Just shredded between the broodlings and all the spine crawlers. A couple of them might even get caught by a fungal, but instead they blink back and they try and get out of there. A couple of broodlings are just hacking away at everything while they're trying to run away. And BabyK is in a very tight spot, a very difficult position. We have a whole bunch of changelings running towards BabyKnight's base. Just chilling there. How you doing? I'm a zealot just like you. It's all good. We have a Warp Prism hanging around with the mothership, as per usual. A whole bunch of Dark Templar are going to try and kill some stuff over here, but there are so many spine crawlers as there are everywhere. And a whole bunch of zealots are getting warped in now as well to help single target this hatchery down, trying to shut down Snute's economy, and it looks like Snute is going to run all the way there with all of his infestors, but his broodlords are going to stay in position by the Spinecrawler wall, because he knows what FXOBabyK is up to. He knows that every single time he drops over here, he attacks on the opposite side of the map, just to make it very difficult for Snute's incredibly slow army, and this hatchery is dead, and this hatchery is actually safer at the moment, but it's going to die too. Hopefully. I'm rooting for you, BabyK. I'm rooting for you. Even though Snute's got so many spine crawlers, I have to root for you, okay? I'm not sure how much hope I have, because that is a lot of spine crawlers, and you don't have a nuke. But I'm still rooting for you. I'm a Protoss fan. Go Protoss. We have a couple of Dark Templar just chilling in LiquidSnute's main base, which pretty much has nothing left in it apart from a couple of those larvae, and as we all know, they're pretty much indestructible. A couple of Broodlords might get picked out of position. Oh, one goes down to some Stalkers. Another might go down. It looks like BabyK will retreat, or will he push forward? Another Broodlord is now very, very dead. exploding into all those pieces of meat and blood and gore and all that lovely, lovely, jubbly stuff. Yeah, it's quite gross, I know. And we have more warpins over here. BabyK is being very persistent, making sure to keep LiquidSnute occupied with all of these warpins. A couple of infestors might lose their lives to a Colossus sweep. Oh, there's one getting roasted on the bonfire like a giant marshmallow. A giant infestor marshmallow. A couple of broodlords are in position. Looks like these colossi have been fungled and will be very, very much dead. Now all he has are archons, stalkers, a mothership, and a whole bunch of changelings that are trying to look like they're actually part of his army. He killed a bunch, but that one's just... yeah, there we go. Now he's dead. Whole bunch of stalkers being warped in. We have 2 colossi on the way from all those robo bays, and this warp prism looks like he will finally die with his zealot inside. Oh, you poor prism! You stood no chance. That's quite a few infested Terrans. Looks like Snute was not going to take any chances. He wanted that warp prism very dead. We have a spawning pool being remade for LiquidSnute. I am going to enjoy Heart of the Swarm, and I can just click on these buildings and I don't have to scour the map trying to find where he's putting these things down. There it is. I found it. It's like a little bit of detective work in the morning. Nothing like a little bit of detective work in the morning. These rocks are getting hacked to pieces. So many broodlords, and look at these changelings just crawling along the ground, trying to act like they're part of the Protoss' army while I say no. You're all going to die. And the broodlord infestor are now chilling next to this giant spinecrawler wall, which is in fact mostly dead because this is BabyK and he kills spinecrawler walls. He eats them for breakfast. Part of his cereal. Apparently they're high in protein. Blink forward. The hatchery is now very, very dead and it does not get cancelled. Not that it really matters because when you have... oh, never mind. He only has 2,500 minerals to the 12,000 of BabyK, so... BabyK can just build himself a whole bunch of gateways and warp in zealots non-stop forever. We have another hatchery going down over here. He might make another spinecrawler wall. There we go. Now we have another spinecrawler wall. A couple of them are being pulled away from the greater spire. This gives an opportunity for BabyK, but instead there's a giant push at the front with this repositioning spinecrawler wall. We have a vortex going down. Whole bunch of infestors dying. We have a couple of corruptors. Looks like the colossi are getting focused down, but they are in fact quite okay. Looks like they're in fact going for the mothership. A couple of vortexes are going down, but nothing much is getting sucked into them. We have a whole bunch of broodlords over here trying to focus down everything. A bunch of stalkers get warped in. It looks like the mothership will fall, and now the colossi will get focused down. One of them is fungled. The next one might get rooted in place by yet another fungal. Yes, he is. There's another colossi trying to keep that one colossi alive, sweeping all those broodlords away with the colossi laser brooms. Massive warp in for BabyK, but he is in a very, very tight spot if Snute chooses to push forward. BabyK is an incredibly tight spot, but I have faith in all those drops. I have faith in him. I know that he can do this. Come on, BabyK. You're a knight. You have to do this. And you wear a bib. There's nothing cooler than that. You're a knight with a bib, and you're going to kill all of these spine crawlers. The spine crawler wall is in fact quite reduced. I'm still wondering if he's going to focus down that greater spire. I see it coming. If I was an oracle, I would see that coming. However, there's a massive push from LiquidSnute. It looks like he's going to be attacking from the left-hand side first. BabyK is going to have a very, very difficult time defending against this. Look at all those infestors. So many infestors, so many broodlords, so much everything. A couple of stalkers blink forward. They might get a couple of infestors, but they will get fungled in place, as well as a colossus who was just stuck there as the broodlords focus down everything. So much carnage, so many dead stalkers. That one broodlord dies. Another broodlord dies. But for the stalker loss, I would say Baby Knight is not having very much fun in that particular engagement. We have tons of broodlords running towards BabyK's army, trying to hack it to pieces, and we have a massive amount of infested Terrans over here in BabyK's base, going to hack everything to pieces. We have a mothership just about to finish up. BabyK might be trying to delay for that. If he can get a couple of good vortexes off, he might be able to hold on. Oh, there's the mothership. It's just popped out, but it does not have enough energy for a vortex. It has only half of the energy that it in fact needs. A whole bunch of Broodlords and Infestors are going to finish off this expansion. They might try and go for this expansion as well. Shut down FXO's economy, because then he cannot recover, is the idea. A whole bunch of changelings are getting hacked to pieces. Might see a couple of Infestors getting caught out of position and killed, perhaps, over here. But LiquidSnute is just popping out a ton of those infested Terrans to try and delay Baby Knight, or just to kill him. I'm not really sure. We have a bit of an engagement now. The mothership still does not have the energy required for a vortex, but we have a whole bunch of Colossi hacking all of those Infestors to pieces. Lots of Infestors will lose their lives this day. And we have so many Broodlords, though. Just so many Broodlords pushing Baby Knight back once again. Who's in fact warping in so many Dark Templar. Look at those. So many Dark Templar, which are going to morph themselves into Archons. If he can just get some sort of incredible vortex, the best vortex in the universe, he might just be able to take this. That's going to be difficult. He could probably still focus down that spire, because there are so few spine crawlers now guarding that, compared to how many there were, at least. We have a bit of a push over here. One Broodlord might go down. Will we have a vortex? He does have enough energy. It looks like he might be going for it. Yes, he is. He's catching a whole bunch of stuff that was caught in a cocoon, and that is in fact causing my computer to bug, making them all swirly looking like in their greenness. He might throw a couple of Archons in. One Archon at least goes in. A couple more go in, I think, as well, and I just missed them. Another Archon is now inside. As soon as that pops out, everything in there is going to die to the magic of Archons. But these Infestors are in position to get off some serious fungals and everything that pops out as well. A couple of Broodlords in their cocoons will be dead. But Baby Knight is also losing a lot, but Snute's supply is plummeting. It's free-falling through the sky. All those Broodlords and Infestors and that Spinecrawler wall is going to push Baby Knight back once again, or at least make him get some reinforcements. He's going for the push. We have a couple of Infestors dying, we have a couple of Broodlords. Will Baby Knight take this? Will he do the unthinkable? Will he single target down some Broodlords? One Broodlord might go down, another Broodlord goes down, another Broodlord goes down, 3 more Broodlords. Come on, Baby Knight, you can do this. Baby Knight taking a huge supply lead. Look at that warping, that is incredible. That is the power of gateways. It looks like he might at least be pushing Snute back. Snute is now the one in a difficult position. knew I had a faith in you for a reason, Baby Knight. I knew I had faith in you for a reason. A couple of warp prisms being made. We have cannons being warped in. All these spine crawlers are getting hacked to pieces. These Infestors are not very, very happy, because most of them have almost no energy. They have a couple of fungals left on them. A couple of neural parasites perhaps, but it's just not going to be enough, I don't think. More and more Infestors are going down. Baby Knight with 192 supply. So LiquidSnute's 129. More Infestors will go down. All those infested Terrans, that's all of their energy pretty much being used. And they are now just hunks of meat not being able to be used for much. In desperation, LiquidSnute is making tons of Zerglings. He wants to win, but I don't think he can. Baby Knight has been pushing it. Come on, Baby Knight, you can do it. I know you can. We have an observer making its way across the map just to seal the deal. LiquidSnute now down to 110 supply. So many Zerglings popping out, as well as roaches. He needs to remax and get together and gather together. But how can you use those Zerglings against a couple of Colossi and a whole bunch of Archons? Those Zerglings get roasted away before they can even reach the army. LiquidSnute says GG! I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I did.